Now we are ready with the second bout of the evening. If you've just joined us, we are here tonight. Today is Saturday, the last but one night of the Deluxe Professional Boxing League 61. We're just about to wind up. Who is going to win the brand new car? Which of the boxers is going to win the brand new car? We are just counting down. And this is a light heavyweight contest over 6 rounds. Official for this bout, Judge 1. Ishmael Williams, Judge 2, Michael Nikwe, and Judge 3, Nathaniel Lobain. Now introducing the boxer fighting out from the blue corner. And this is a boxer who was born and bred in Kintampo. And the man in the white and green trunks, black shoe, and blue gloves to match. With a weight of 172.60 pounds from the Seconds Art Boxing Gymnasium, owned by the former President of Ghana Boxing Authority, Peter Zuernis. And this is the man who is making his debut today, presenting to you the boxer, Moses Kwaku. Switching over to the red corner. And this is the man who this evening sported in the red and white trunks, red gloves, and black and white shoe to match. And this is the man from the Akotoku Academy right here in Accra. And this is the man who was born and bred right here in Choco in Accra. With a short record of 1 fight, 1 win, no defeat, no draw, with the weight of 176.30 pounds. Presenting to you the boxer, Barnie Sackey. And the man in charge of this fight is Richard Amevi.
Light heavyweight contest scheduled for 6 rounds. We are just about getting ready to go. Center referee Richard Amevi will go through the last set of instructions. Once the boxers give their touch gloves sign, we are ready to go. Light heavyweight. And let's see what these two boxers are made of. The history of Ghana boxing really has not got a place for light heavyweights. We've not really produced solid light heavyweights. But like I asked DJ NY, and I'm going to ask Sam Nanagold in a minute, the essence of this Deluxe Professional Boxing League, and what kind of doors have opened for the young boxers that we have here on this part of town. But again, this is Paul Sackey from Akotoku, sporting the red trunks, and he's fighting Moses Kwaku from the Seconds Out gym. Now, run us through the kind of forte we have when it comes to light heavyweights, if any.
So our current light heavyweights, we have Basti Samer, we have Jacob Dixon, we have Stephen Abbey, and a couple of them. We have also had the likes in the past. We've also had the likes of Alfred and Kama, you know, the man they call Hercules in the past. And so we have a bit of history on that, but they've not really excelled to the world stage. But here we have a young Paul Barnie Sackey from Choco. He had his debut fight a couple of fight nights ago against Francis Afole, you know, and he won by a first round KO in that very bout. He is really coming up. He's really putting it on Moses Kwaku at this time. We hope that on this platform, the Luxury Professional Boxing League, giving them the overture to exhibit what they are made of, it will really propel them to harness their craft, so that by the time they get to the world level, they would have really propped up their craft very well nurtured to be able to do exploit. I believe that the likes of Paul Sackey and co are ones for the future. You look at the right hand that he just worked out. He landed 2 jabs and then he finished that combination with the right hand. Very perfect combo right there. So I expect the likes of Paul Sackey to take advantage of such platforms to move them to the epoch of world boxing.
Well, obviously, if you take a look at the two boxers, you would think that they are fighting out of weight. And Moses Kwaku, obviously the heavier of the two boxers. But unfortunately, it would seem like it. However, Paul Sackey came into the ring at a weight of 176.3 pounds. And Moses Kwaku came into the ring at a weight of 172. But he looks quite well built, few muscles around here and there. But Paul comes into this fight obviously with a longer reach than the taller of the two boxers. Still in round one, we're getting to the closing stages of the round, and it's been a very careful round for these two boxers. Nothing really to write home in terms of the output of these two boxers. There's been a lot of bubbly movement.
Advantage. He has a rich advantage. Move in with a jab establishment. Make sure you probe your way out, probe your way in, and get openings so that you can land the unleashing shots on your opponent. For Kwaku, I think his corner is going to tell him, you know what, keep running with him in the ring, because in terms of high and rich advantage, he has it over you. And when you get your moment, make sure you're going to utilize it. So that's what you're going to see round two in this fight.
Round two starting in earnest, and both boxers again eager to look for that opening and take advantage of it. Second fight for Paul Sackey. Won his first fight. Let's see how that would bolster him against the debutant Moses Kwaku, who seems to be under some bashing from Sackey. Keeping his head up though, and his guard up as well, but missing a couple of those punches. Lots of support coming from the eager crowd here. They would want to see their favorite boxer to win, and they're urging them to go all out. But obviously, it's got to be a very careful approach by these two boxers. Wild miss there from Kwaku, goes in trying to batter the head of Paul. Paul comes in stronger.
And Prince, I'm very impressed with the output of Paul Sackey. I was a witness to his developing stages when he was brought up at the beach boxing club by Coach Butcher before he switched over to Akotoku. During those times, he was sparring with the likes of Richard Harrison Latte, former WBO heavyweight champion. So you can see the kind of craft that he has learned from those experienced boxers. I have been very impressed with how he puts together good combinations that have befuddled Moses Kwaku. At this point, I think that he is cruising, he is in a driving seat, and he might be cruising to a points victory, or maybe if he's able to overpower or outpunch his opponent, he might be able to score a KO or a TKO.
And guess what? Richard Harrison Latte just walked into the premises. So here we go again, and a wild miss from Kwaku. But he's doing pretty well. For someone who's making his debut, he's not backing off, as it were. He's rather bringing the fight on to Paul Sackey.
Oh yes, Prince, that's what he needs to do, because when he stands there, you know, I mean, Paul Sackey has the height advantage, rich advantage, and when he stands there, Paul is really going to unleash on him. So that's what he needs to do. Make sure he gets busy in the ring, because if he stands there, Paul Sackey is going to demolish him.
To him from his corner. In goes the mouth guard, and we're ready for the third round of this bout, which is scheduled for 6 now. Here we go. Richard Amevi, our center referee, gives them the green light, and we go into another 3 minutes of heavy boxing. That's a good combination of punches coming from Moses Kwaku, building his confidence as he goes. A little bit of showboating as well. Well, probably it's just to calm his nerves down and get himself into the routine. Don't forget, coming into the ring as the debutant, he obviously will start as the underdog. And Paul Sackey still hasn't found that antidote. Still looking for that gap. Moses seems to have done very well keeping his guard up. Where he falters is missing those wild punches. It looks like Paul has taken his foot off the pedal for a little while. Paul Sackey now being cautious, looking for the jab, trying to penetrate the guard of Moses Kwaku. These are two light heavyweights. So far, so good for them. And from the input given to us by Sam Nanagold, Paul seems to be on the right track in terms of training regimen and the kind of quality boxers that he's sparred against, obviously toughening him for the hard and arduous road ahead. Trying to go in now, looking for that opening. Again, Moses Kwaku quite smart with the body swerves, as it were. Tries to land a right and then goes in with the left. All to no avail.
For me, Prince, I think so far so good. It's a steady round so far for me. Paul is really making sure to build up his punches on a steady note. But for me, Moses Kwaku has grown in confidence, and he feels that, I mean, in the round 2, what he did and the thumbs up from his corner is giving him that kind of confidence. But he should be watchful though. But for me, in round 3, Moses Kwaku has been moving a lot, and this is the time for Paul Sackey to unleash. 1, 2, 3 shot from him. He needs to go on and stalk his opponent, because for me, Moses Kwaku has been moving a lot and he's been gassing out. For Paul to move on and stalk him with a jab establishment and unleash a couple of 2, 3 shots, that we could see Moses Kwaku feeling the venom from Paul Sackey.
Paul tries to go in, and I'm not too sure. Yep. Referee gives him a warning. The turnaround obviously will not be allowed.
So I think that at this point it should be even on my cards, and so the fight is still up for grabs. Moses Kwaku is really not giving an inch at all. He is really giving his all, and if Paul Sackey does not step up his game, he might be in for a big surprise.
Well, the surprise could come in any form, but I think the pep talk from Paul Sackey's corner, you see him changing his tactic as he comes into the 4th round. Don't forget the bout is scheduled for 6.
Yes, you know, Prince, and let me add to this, you know, patience is key. But I'm sure now Paul's corner have told him that he needs to step up his game, because he's giving his opponent a lot of confidence as the round is growing in. And you could see the start of round 4, as you said, Paul Sackey has changed his tactics. He's now really moving on and stepping up his game with his punches selection. Let's see how this round 4 goes for both fighters.
2 boxers representing 2 boxing gyms that are in the 8th and 9th position on the Deluxe Professional Boxing League table. Akotoku lie 8th, and in the 9th position is the Seconds Out gym. May not be in contention though for the ultimate title, but hey, picking up valuable points today would push them up the ladder in terms of the league table. At the top of the league table is a straight battle between Charles Quarty Boxing Foundation and Sonia, together with Panix and Fitzsquare. 42-39. Sonia and Fitzsquare have 37. Oh, is that below? And Moses Kwaku seems to be in a little bit of pain.
I think, Prince, for me, I doubt if that was a low blow. I think that was the midsection of his body.
Let me go to Sam quickly, because he had eagle eyes on exactly what was happening.
So Paul Sackey landed a double jab on the face, and then a straight right to the stomach of Moses Kwaku. So I don't know why the referee Richard Amevi did not issue a count. There should have been an 8 mandatory count. That was actually supposed to be a knockdown in favor of Paul Sackey.
Both boxers trying to open up the space now as they go through. Paul Sackey trying to land a couple of punches to the body and then to the head. And then Kwaku comes in with a clinch, obviously buying some time. He seems to have recovered from that low blow, as it were. And so bout continues with a miss. One to the head of Kwaku. Kwaku at the receiving end at this stage. Quickly he would want to change the tactic. But Paul Sackey has been very, very reserved with the jabs and the punches. Obviously looking for the big one. Still hasn't found that opening.
You know, Prince, when you look at what Paul Sackey is doing right now, he has changed the tactics once more again. He's trying to bait his opponent to fall for within. And if he does that, then the counter punch is going to land clean on the part of Paul Sackey. For me, so far, this round, I'm going to give it to Paul Sackey. He has done really, really enough. Stepped up his game as previously on the couple of other rounds. Paul is really, really up in his game little bit by bit. Round 5, let's go and let's see what happens.
Round 5, indeed it is. It's scheduled for 6, so there's only 2 3-minute rounds remaining. We'll try and see whether we can get close to Richard Harrison, because he's in the heavyweight ranks, and let's see what the potential looks like. It'll be good to learn a lot more from our heavyweights. We don't have too many of them, do we? I remember the good old days of Adama Mensah. The late, may his soul rest in peace. Adama Mensah was obviously the name to stand out when it came to the heavyweights. But of course, we've had the likes of Brian Makamoko also pass through, lightened up the heavyweight category for a while. And Richard Harrison, he's been there, he's done that all the way to the world level. But back here at the BUKOM Boxing Arena is Paul Sackey of Akotoku Academy, Moses Kwaku of Seconds Out. So far, so good. There's been a lot of resoluteness on the part of both boxers, but they've also missed a couple of wild punches. And there you go, a couple again missed by Moses Kwaku.
Prince, in this round, Paul Sackey is really doing well for me. Really doing well. Stepped up his game very, very much. And Moses Kwaku is finding it difficult to really adapt to the kind of tactics that Paul Sackey has changed in a couple of 2 rounds. And that is really a good account on Paul Sackey. Really moving in the jab establishment, making sure quick 2-3 jabs on the face of Moses Kwaku, and Moses Kwaku is finding difficulties to deal with that kind of jab establishment from Paul Sackey. And you could see Paul Sackey is really doing well in this round.
Okay, so Paul Kwaku is going to be cautioned there with a punch to the back of Paul Sackey.
That was a good left punch there from Paul Sackey.
And again, it's that opening, that elusive opening. Both boxers being very careful. And again, 2 wild misses from Kwaku. But again, you can't begrudge him too much. This is just his debut in his professional boxing career, and so he's obviously going to learn a lot at the end of the round. That was a big one from Kwaku, landed right on the face of Sackey, but Sackey countered very well.
At this point, Prince, you could see in terms of technicalities, you could see vast difference between Paul Sackey and Moses Kwaku. You could see Moses Kwaku has really done well to stand in front with Paul Sackey with that kind of height advantage from Paul Sackey and still be throwing with him at this round. He has done well, but in terms of technicalities, you could see that Paul Sackey is really dominant in the kind of punches selection that he gives.
Seconds out.
But of course, by doing so, they also
and the final round
will be very careful and cautious. Touch gloves. Here we go. Round 6. Light heavyweight contest. Again by the debutant Moses Kwaku, and another miss. Sackey had stayed quite well. There's a small caution there. Strapping has to be redone for Moses Kwaku. But Paul Sackey has been very, very careful with the shots. Very consistent with the jabs. Missed a couple, but picking up the points as and where it matters. Taking the final instructions from the corner. They have less than 2 minutes to sort themselves out. Strategy for Kwaku in this round, I'm not too sure. See him throwing a lot of wild right punches and none of them have landed.
That's not a good one for me from Moses Kwaku, swinging in so wild like that. You know, you're in a ring with a kind of fighter that his punch selection is really, really key. You could throw in 1-2 wild punches and he's gonna catch you with a counter punch. Moses Kwaku needs to be careful with that kind of tactics that he is deploying in this round. Swinging in wild without hitting any significant blow is just a loss for me. He needs to really regroup himself and give in a different kind of tactics in this game, because I mean Paul Sackey has done really enough. Stick to his game plan, jab establishment, stalking his opponent, making sure when his opponent misses he goes in for the counter punch, and it's really working for Paul Sackey. But for Moses Kwaku, I don't know what kind of tactics he's going into this game. He needs to really change it.
But I think that Moses Kwaku seems to have done well in this his debut outing. But of course, he's also received a lot of encouragement from his corner. They've kept him on his toes. They've been issuing instructions every second of the rounds that he's fought here today. And it looks like that has also given him the impetus and the encouragement to go on. Obviously, he would have a lot to learn. But for a debut performance, he's obviously not disgraced, Moses Kwaku. That's a big one. Tries to take advantage in the opening.
Prince, that was a big one onto the face of Paul Sackey. He didn't see that one coming.
Wild miss once again from Kwaku. And he needs to work on his timing. Timing very, very awful. But he's not scared coming forward.
He's growing a lot of confidence there from Moses Kwaku.
Exactly. And again to the back of the head. Rabbit punches. That's another caution. So we're into the last couple of seconds. The bell will go any moment from now. Both boxers have endeared themselves to the crowd here.
No,
the professor here with us here today.
Viewers, you live on Max TV. Today is Saturday. Today is the last but 1 week of the first season of the Deluxe Professional Boxing League. So here we are with bout number 2, and now we have the verdicts. The verdicts that we have here, shall we put our hands together before the verdicts for the 2 boxes? Now, Judge 1, Williams scored the bout 59 to 55. Judge 2, Michael Nikwe scored the bout 59 to 55. Judge number 3 scored the bout, that is Nathaniel Obain, scored the bout 60 to 54. So by a unanimous point decision, presenting to you the winner from the Akutuku Academy, Paul Sackey. Thank you very much. So we are done with this bout. We are just waiting for the next bout of the evening. What is going to be our third bout? Now, I just want to have a chat of this gentleman who is coming from Kintampo. Edison. Now, today is your first professional bout. How do you feel? Who feeling the same?
I feel good.
Because as a professional boxer, or first fight the ring mo ato only munyame. Ti the BCB the asedama nyankopon.
Na nkrofo mo hwe okintapo na sembe no beka kiro.
Meka kiro mo say me do mo nyina ase. But and then am koje. Da foforo no. Obehu different than we.
Thank you very much. Let's put hands together for him.